What's up, guys? It's Chris here to do a little bit of a different video. It's kind of a request. I wasn't even planning on doing a video today, in all honesty, but I figured I'd just get this out of the way because I do plan on dropping one tomorrow on the predictions for Sunday's WEC and Monday's UFC Fight Night. Actually, I was on the WEC conference call this morning. I was hoping to get some quotes or something I can use, but unfortunately, if you've ever done a conference call for any of these fight organizations, sometimes you're fortunate to get in and get asked questions of the fighters. Other times, you sit there and listen to numerous reporters get their turns, and unfortunately, you don't get a turn. I don't know what that's about. Maybe because I don't work for AOL or Yahoo or SureDog. I kind of just get left out the rotation because, time doesn't permit for everyone. So unfortunately, that happened today, so I had to sit there and listen to the call for an hour and didn't really get asked a question myself. So didn't get use anything for that, but anyhow, I will be dropping a video most likely tomorrow, give my predictions on those fights regardless. Also, be sure and check out the website, thewillbebloodfightshow.com. I do a weekly MMA blog on there. I usually try to drop it on Monday or Tuesday. Last week's I talked about who I thought was fighter of the year in MMA for 2009, runners-ups and why. This week, I finished my blog already. It was basically a recap of UFC 108, as well as some thoughts on this weekend's WEC and UFC Fight Night on Monday. Unfortunately, it's not up yet because, my boss man, his computer's down, so he hasn't had a chance to post it yet, but hopefully it'll be up by today or tomorrow. But, just check that out if you have time. I'd appreciate it if you check it out, read it, and give me some feedback. Anyways, as far as this video, this was a request from a subscriber named Kino483, or that's his YouTube account name. He wanted me to break down a potential or a fight between George St. Pierre and Jake Shields, who I think would win. So, I told him I would get to it when I have a chance, and I have a chance right now. Anyways, so if George St. Pierre fought Jake Shields, first off, I presume it would be at 170, although Jake's currently the Strikeforce middleweight champion. He has fought at 170 for the majority of his career, or, on and off. And in Elite XC, he fought at 170. He fought at, 170 not too long ago. And if he fought in the UFC, it would probably more than likely be at 170. So until GSP moves up at 185, I would presume it would be at 170, or probably a catchweight. George St. Pierre, he has 19 wins, 2 defeats. Stands in at 5'10", 170, that's his weight. As for Jake, he's got 24 wins, 4 defeats, 1 draw. He's currently fighting at 185. Now, GSP's coming off that unanimous decision win over Thiago Alves, where he absolutely dominated Thiago. A fight that I actually thought would be a little bit closer. I thought Thiago had the stand-up, and the size. I thought he had the size and strength to kind of match GSP and be able to defend the takedowns pretty well like he did against Josh Koscheck, but GSP took him down at will and pretty much dominated him on the ground. Set up his takedowns great, just with feints and whatnot. And dominated Alves, even after tearing his groin midway through the fight. Before that, GSP had the TKO win over BJ Penn in the rematch. And before that, he dominated John Fitch over 5 rounds. So he's been really dominant in his last 3 fights over really good fighters. As for Jake, he's coming off the unanimous decision win over Jason Mayhem Miller. Not the most entertaining fight, in all honesty. He pretty much dominated Jason, just using his better wrestling and ground control. Although at the end of the 3rd round, he did get caught in a rear naked choke, and had time not run out on the round, he probably would have lost the fight because that choke was sunk in by Mayhem, and he wasn't going to get out. He was either going to pass out or have to tap out. But fortunately for Jake, the time ran out in the round, and he was able to go on and dominate the rest of the fight or win the rest of the bout. Before that, he had the guillotine in the 1st round over Robbie Lawler, where he won the title, the 185 title in Strikeforce. And before that, he had a win over Paul Daly. He submitted him by armbar. He's also got some good wins. Jake Shields, that is, over Carlos Condit and Yushin Okami, amongst others. As for GSP, he's got also wins over, Matt Hughes and Josh Koscheck, who are fighters that are somewhat similar to Jake Shields, at least on his level, if not better. For the fight itself, I'd have to favor George St. Pierre. Stand up, it's not even a contest. Who's better? George St. Pierre is much better on the feet than Jake Shields. Even in the Mayhem fight, Jake really didn't want anything to do on his feet standing. And Mayhem's not exactly the most devastating striker out there. Jake, he kind of has his head up, holds it up high a lot when he fights. He's just not a very good technical striker yet. He's getting better, but he's not there yet. Jake, GSP just has a much bigger edge there. Wrestling. Although Jake has probably got more experience, I think that George St. Pierre's wrestling and mixed martial arts is probably better. George just has great takedowns. His athleticism helps him. Great speed, athleticism. I just think if it came down to it, I think that he would be able to get the better of that as well. I do think he's the stronger of the two, although I can't, be assured of that. Jiu-jitsu, as far as that goes, I probably would favor Jake Shields. I think he does have better jiu-jitsu, slightly. But, aside from George St. Pierre getting caught in that armbar by Matt Hughes in their first fight, I've never really seen him in any danger when it comes to submissions, even against BJ Penn. So I wouldn't really worry about that too much, I don't think that'd be too much of an issue, even though it could. Basically, I think that this fight would come down to, and I really think it'd be hard for Jake to take George St. Pierre down, John Fitch wasn't really able to do so. Josh Koscheck wasn't really able to do so, and they're at least as good as wrestlers as Jake Shields, if not better. They're at least as big and strong as Jake Shields, if not bigger and stronger. So I just think Jake would have a lot of trouble getting George St. Pierre down if he even could. Cardio-wise, I think George St. Pierre's got a little bit better cardio. So if it was a 5-round fight, hypothetically, I think that he would fare better down the stretch. In all honesty, no disrespect to Jake Shields, but it's just hard for me to picture him winning the fight. You can always win a fight. I mean, I didn't think Matt Serra would beat George St. Pierre in their first fight, and he did. But with the advantages on the feet and the wrestling department, just overall, George St. Pierre seems to be the better fighter. Like I said, anything can happen in a fight until the guys actually meet. It's hard to say who would really win. But if I was just predicting the fight, breaking it down as I have, I would have to favor George St. Pierre, probably by decision. Ever since that first loss to Matt Serra, George just hasn't wanted to stand up as much. He hasn't stood up and traded in fights. Even in the second Serra fight, even in the BJ Penn fight, he's pretty much been to just take guys down and kind of ground them out and dominate them over on the mat for 5 rounds or however long the fight goes. So it would probably go to a decision, but I would expect George St. Pierre to win the fight fairly easily, or pretty convincingly, if nothing else. So that's my thoughts on that. Kino 483. Feel free to give me your feedback, or anybody else, who you think would win this fight, or how you think the fight would play out. That's pretty much it for now. Like I said, I'll probably be back tomorrow to give my predictions for this upcoming WEC 46 and UFC Fight Night. Like I said, be sure to check out the website if you get a chance, please. ThereWillBeBloodFightShow.com. I'll put a link in the information part as well as a link to my Twitter. I really just kind of put things in there in regards to what's going on with the website and the radio show and some other thoughts in regards to fights. But other than that, I don't do too much activity on there. That's it for now, though. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow most likely. Until then, though, I'm out.